แม่ริปะไก่แบ่ให้คุยรันดีกันยี่ลีบันไดให้พอเดินน้ำสุดกลุ่มได้เลยจะป้าก็จุ่มไปแก่ไอ้แก่โอดีมาจุกลุ่มได้เลยจะทำไมถึงได้คุยแก่หางแก่ไปทิ้งวีอีแบ่อันนี้กูตัวยิงเดลสิกันจีไรแก่เราเราไปเจอกันนะอันนี้ไปทิ้งตัวเดลจะพร้อมคอมมิตี้มีตัวเดลแบบอะไรเดลอีแก่แบบสินะพร้อมกันนะเสร็จแก่ก็ได้ไปกันดำแบบไปทิ้งวางเรื่องแบบทิ้งวางก็ได้ไปกันดำแบบไปเลยก็ได้ไปกริ่งแบบเลยเนี่ยไปได้กันลำมือเลยสิดานะจู่อันนี้ไปทิ้งวางกูเลยปากกันนะแบบทิ้งวางอาจิลังแบบไปเลยปากอาจีก็เสียหลับนานะงอที่กำใจวันเลยเนี่ยเสียที่กำเลยทิ้งวางจู่ให้มันนางมักเลยขณะทิ้งวางอาทิ้งใครกุมจะล้วนสังเนี่ยมีนุ่งแก่ลำมือเลยกริ่งเดินเนี่ยมักจะมีทิ้งกริ่งไปดูไปได้กันละกำเลยปากจุ่มแบบทิ้งวางนั่นไม่ได้เรื่องกริ่งเดินไปมันเลยเนี่ยรอแกอันนี้จิมนาโนหูลังใจหูลังแบบเจเลยจิดานะทิ้งวางเนี่ยกันนิ่งจริงได้ไปชวนนุ่มเตะรู้ใจไปได้แค่วางจังได้รอหังแกเป็นนาแม่ก็จำแม่เล่นเนี่ยหังแกหิงเดียไปไกลเจเลยปามได้แบบหิงเดียกริ่งแบบเป็นไรก็ใจแบบลำมือเลยกริ่งแบบจะตัดยีเตะแม่ทิ้งวางเนี่ยหูลังไปเลยใจแบบใจก็เสียเตะแม่หิงเดียคงที่มาเป็นชูรังตะเก้าเลยปามยังแบบทิ้งวางหิงเดียไปไกลเด็กเป็นนุ่มใจสิจีลุแม่เลยเนี่ยทิ้งวางจูกันนุ่มเลยทิ้งวางจูนุ่มลุแม่เลยเนี่ยก็ได้เรื่องเนี่ยมักจะใจเกี่ยวจะเรื่องรำกิดูมิสุยแบบกัดมีแบบเอาเลยทิ้งวางยาดีก็สั่งเลยใจปานุ่มปุ่นดูเตะก็สั่งเลยก็ได้เรื่องทิ้งวางนั้นดังแบบเลยกุมใจก็ได้เรื่องแค่ก็เสียแบบเลยเนี่ยดูปนเต็มก็ได้กังกุเลยแบบกุเลยกริ่งแบบเนี่ยแบบเลยเนี่ยทิ้งวางจูกลุ่มเลยPage number 9. Harakan me tingong sukan numbe. Relang be. Tingong na de relak nanen dam petle. Da je tingong na ulang benai ilang be rapele je. Harakan me kan numle. Pakna be. Kade rezin na me ta ki be. Isya be de le le ke tingong a no kam jai chi kam le. Tingong ja a di le jai. Mimi du ki de le na han ke ki be ga be be le. Tingong chun num ja kulum pahin de ki be pung tu lu me le na a kring ting du ki be ngo gu zai zai le mai chang du ba da ya ong chang dai bu le pak chum me tingong na de ren dam pe pe lu gum je tingong na de re lap nan du teng ga dai bu le be du ra ka me kan lu le pam dai be da de tingong na pi bang le zai tingong na de tung gu le ai gum je tingong ki lang ba ra pe chu kan me bu na ka lu me ra ka ding na pung su be rim ba Relang bedele, ai na lo ke da zai. Apa ko sai na ke tu ke mo ke sai ba ke ong sam ka ba zai. Ni bo din na na lo zai be mo na lo zai ke lai na su lo na.
Dan jenis
kan nampe pe tiwang. Da pakanau ke namai anu ko rata inge. Undi pepe pui hai po sa to nang sai anu pui rani ka dele ja pa ko chumya ga noi dilawa ra ka association North East India ko president secretary 𝗡𝗶ৃහෙ𝗴ᴜ Assam ramgana Nagaland gana Manipur gana aga chairman secretary de me ga nu ko ngi po me klong tiang cha me ga mi po Minai jema, mi puimpe jema, mi singkina ma, dan mi kangya ma. Nunginte mnaga, mai anu North East India ko association nam gana, nunginte mnaga klumle. Dan mai North East India, anu jilang orang ka North East India ko golden JUBILEE 𝗡𝗶ৃහෙ𝗴ᴜ katepe komringe ko. Kangi biga anoi hai nachida anoi aiga hingeti niluja anoi pokar ga me bo rating wangna me daga pai nam kiba bebe re ka beda namai golden JUBILEE komringe ko 𝗡𝗶ৃහෙ𝗴ᴜ อันนี้เงาลูกกันเลยนะในปอกการกันเลยก็จะเป็นในชิมีเลยอาจารย์นายไอ้กะก็ว่างเลยนะอันนี้ North East India state ก็จนได้ขลาลาแบบก็ได้เป็น state กันเลยจนส่วนไหนนั่นในวังกูส่วนไหนก็วังคำกูได้กะนายก็จับนี่ก็จะได้อันนี้ชิมีอะไรนายไอ้กะนักยิงเด็กกูรักก็นาซีกูแกก็จังนี่ก็จะได้อันนี้เจ้าสักได้ลิมเลยเจ้ามุสลิมเจ้าsakta loy loy tora ko kachangi makta ani chimira amai kachangi rimba golden jubilee rimba ja ingi iba chai sui ja amai hai ko cha dona hai purani ga denna ndi pakai ja hingi ja amai raka tingna se amai hingi iba anu ko raka tingna se kan chi de manai ling deva amai kum ringe ja ani dai ko ngome dai ko ja hingi te hang nei namai kumringnya kan dai kigan min kota ini kacega namai kesang danai lingkan cibe cibi cibi loga kumringnya go kesangi le kaceba ni ciara teu satu kumakta hingde go ga namai anak kiting nasi go ga kan cibe hingde hilang go namai kesangi le kaceba ni cimi ale tanya namai raka ting nasia so kadu sa banda Hindi dai pun je tu peme hindi dai pun je bi peme raka ting nasi je dai ko me raka ting nasi je ko hang ne pung mai ani hindi je thei bang da dai ko lo ko du hindi pom ne rang bang da rang ko lu pum je ani mi long je chi mi je namai raka ile ka je pe raka ting nasi je kesang manai ling long sang te la le raka ting nasi je tiếng nào rồi cái chỉ làm về can chỉ về tiếng nào nằm ai cái sang tiếng để biết tiếng nào đây có thể hay nằm cái đấy này chỉ sợ nằm ai ra cái tiếng nào xí hàng cái nằm ai biết kí xe nằm ai anh ấy kí phua anh ấy kí bay ni anh ấy kí lim hele anh ấy kí ra sam tây đông đến rồi đấy này anh ấy kí có những cái đó tiếng tiếng đó hay bữa nay cái tiếng này đã được công ty cái đại khi cái này cái này đại khi cái này nằm ai anh ấy apa orang naik kise, jelang orang mese, hilang darah katung desa teh orang gre. Dapanen dipakai di doje kena, kedai kedai, anu hai macam kamda, nama hai purani kadena, nama hai India rangga, national level ga, kedai kedai ga, international nama hai kedai kedai ga cikamda, kecuali award beda, pak. Jika anu nama hai ka naik kira katung nasi ada. Engkau lo kasih benung itu orang darah nang tada, karena nama anu kumringnya orang lain juga rakyat yang nasi, ya anu kesang menaik ling ciba, ling lungnya tera, rakyat yang nasi kan cilang boleh, nama long sang teba ling teba anu cimira, rakyat yang nasi kan kumringnya tehang di beja, ndai kum de tehang mai pun lungge kau tahu teme, anu nama cimia, nama kumringnya sang ja, nang ni cilalau dah, kum 1974 ผมสังกัดให้คุยได้ลักษณะมันได้กันนั่นสุดอะไรผมช่างมาทางไทยไม่ได้แกผมเรียนช่างเลยชิบปากแกอันนี้ห่างได้อันนี้คิดถึงนาเซียมิส่งกันแต่ละไม่อันนี้ต้องการสิ่งไม่บอกอินเดียรังกันนะอันนี้ต้องสักที่เป็นตัวเสกันนะน้ำไม่อันนี้คิดสิ่งที่มีราเต็งเรื่องนี้ที่หิ้งองตัวเสกันนะน้ำไม่อันนี้คุยนานะฮินดูคุยนาเนี่ยทุกคนดีเลยสักทีนะอันนี้เป็นนามเป็นอะไรเลยอันนั้นยังดีกีบะทะเลกีบะรักสัมกีบะตะเลนะอันนี้คือลงกีบะก็จะนามเตียร์นามเลยอันนั้นยังดีจะอินเดียสารมักกะนามเวลคัมสปีกะแต่ถ้าเจ้าระดับนามนุสุกีบะอันนี้นอร์ทอีสต์อินเดียก็เบรลังกันนะนามไอ้กะนามนักกีฬาลงคุยนาบะรักษาคุยนาบะไอ้ก็ว่างเลยนี่กันนี่กันนี่นะสุดยอดแบบวันmeeting dan nang kita ke cita ada ane dan nang kita dengan pegle ane dan ane sui kira nang ni na namai ka ayah wang punya pegto se kan ane sui kesana ane association nang mana tuan kita ane ada dan ane namai cimira ayah naka wang ay lumlay na ja namai kumringnya bungkon tuahang lebete jara namai anak kita disiplin Miku behavior, karakter, nama ini telung, นำมาหิงเกกันจีบลิกุมเจหิงเกกันเทียบกันจีบลงสังเดบลิกุมเจอันนี้ปุ่มจะเตลียราอันนี้ลุยลงดูกันเทียบเตลียราอันนี้ลุยลงกันจีบเตลียรานำมาอันนี้มาต่อเตบแกปีหิเลแกปีหิติดแกนี่ต่อเตบเตลียราก็จะเป็นนิสกะรังไงนี่ก็มาชวนายนั่นไงแกปีหิกดีเมวงดาชวนายแกอันนี้ก็จีบแกสเมวงดาจีบแกสวงดาปีหิแกตุบุปีหิใครดาปีหิใครแกคุณตาเกรเบใครดาอันนี้คุณตาสกุลปีแกวงดาก็แต่คุณตาเกรเบใครยินาคุณตาเกรปีแกนี่วงดาก็da anu ini wang luja anu ini kuara to karena anu itu kan sime anu itu mati ibe ketera ba chief guest me guest of honor me jaya beran me kan sibe mati ibe kesam ki ibe anu itu ledera anu itu rangara ba fe wang sangdena anu wang ba anu me ba anu pi hite chima ba anu sing ma fe dre na kim to ma kre ble ka te chi do ble दा जाइना आय नारो क्या मैं ने आएगा सोनाई प्रोग्राम की चुदा चिप गेस वाला बुसो है तुम कापी तमलांग लेकिन नहीं चुरा जिन मिनट क्रेमिंग यानी बम का है ना पक से के तो कम यानी कोरा लाइक दी मैं आने को चिप गेस वाला से ना है ना सब कुछ तेंगे तेरा दा चिप गेस ने वाला तो जो ना पक जी बोल के जो था namai golden jubilee kesangi lima ubara nang kesangi lima namai ka pemberingi ucamnya raka hindi ibe nang cikam da kanci be cikam da kesang namai piling cikam da nang cikam lebih lilung kunda namai hindi kesangi lilung kunda ni lilung leja tiara anai kipai ni leja kai bulu je kai ni je kai lu je wang da ni pai ni lu kai mira ni lilung leja ni ti ibe kan tiara tiara milu nung ibe tiara bihi ibe angel tibe tiara bihi kit tiga ni wang da ni ban pak zai kan tora design na namai ka lu rasa na lu tuak sana namai rasa na komring ni ho kesangi ti bisa ada metega pasal hai melana ngope tu karena anak kita wang de cipke stawai beren brahma di na alu do sam tibe tera anu itu mah kibe keteram boleh wang tau dah cina anu ini holong dia pakai ji wang dah tengah pada nang kumringnya namai kumringnya wong kecangi tapi rimba dah ning dah ke kata me karun ni cira ya meeting hall ke juta desa na meeting hall ke insung ne ke buat si samse jala dah kalau meeting hall ke juga dah ada pamai dah cina ayah anu itu mak kecime mak kibe lagi kamak dah ne program kama kana halazo kamera nanang chi halazo pe ngau sai ne to anu to ma ki be ke thera wa ne bong sa tang ki pe na me to chumre te zi gena na mai chang ni kum re ni ko kan ni da kana tang ki pe na me ma do discipline te ma te se ha sai to ma anu dik ki pe da re ng ya ne me le da anu do ng ya lo ra ma re ma ki be ngau ra to anu ngau lo ra ma ta chi po do se gena na mai ka anu Ucapnya itu saya, meetingnya programnya announce lah, gitu na, announce itu blognya mati zero lah. Ane mati orang ni kita itu, tewa pergi ngoda itu, tewa ni hilang sama, sak ni hilang sama. Meeting hiya, nang tewa nang laksana lagi saya, meeting itu sudah dah nang wang dan kau berapa. Saya bilang sudah meetingnya berapa, jika saya nang hang itu sudah. Ay nangnya bukti mangu bukti kuda, kengau mahang tu kuri kita kuda, ning hangun kuda kuda, ay menahang dia tak kengau kuda, karena main ini lu ni dek ibe telia ratau, jem nama aja tak terkena, jadi merah mawang kat hengeng itu, ay nado belum selesai, adang kita nama itu sang untuk tak terkena, ane itu ngau kang kat ini song kat kuda, ane hindi ile kat itu cita kuda, tegak nama yang ni dah kan, nak dah ni, kiamai ni dah, dah, kui mesomaka, orang ni mesomaka, namai, kami pergi je, pergi roy ni belum pun dah pergi je tinggi tera, kan meeting tu dah je, nak wapang, dah kamera, ni bam dah pakai tahu ranking lah, mai masa orang tu lah, wapang dah, kami namai kai ni, nak kai ulo, kan, itu wapang dah, siam lagi ke beli ko maka jika makan siam itu nang dake develop karega ma bu nang kan tua karega dan nang disiplin karega lega mai ami ma beli ibena sejara kate beta sangi limba de chimiara ko bunenge o hang de chimiara nang tin ko ma na pera je ma le ma ko da chỉ tụi mình mong mà mình sống cái đó đâu là chỉ tụi mình mong mà bám lấy chút chỉ mong cái công việc này cái sáng ý cái bắt cái này đó là năm nay anh ấy cũng công việc na để bám lấy chút cái sáng ý thì bảo hay mà chỉ cần là golden jubilee thì bảo hay mà chỉ cần là ta lui gì về thì ra này cái bên này ta cho vậy đó là năm nay volunteer anh ấy phải là volunteer này anh ấy bỏ đi cái chi mi ra ta hana ka volunteer đúng không mà ta volunteer ra cái cũng để làm này anh em nói cái cảnh này volunteer lấy tiêu ra tại ra ta chỉ tiêu ra cái gì cũng ra cái rồi ra tao tập về mà ra volunteer mà lấy cái tụi mình đi tiếp lấy cái tiêu ra tụi discipline ý ra tiền ý ra thế là hai làm những ngọc ra volunteer mà lấy ra ở trong cái tiền ý sang ra ở trong cái tụi mình discipline maintain cái này cái sang ra tiền cái sang ra tụi mình lùng đồ ngồi ra tụi mình thao cái lên là ngồi ra to go right time physical because volunteer man le to go duty job tara ana volunteer man ha ana ni ko ken ke bang ha kallo ra bo na ma minute chi da na ka yi rang lu ja ni te ke ne li sang da so nai chip ge so ra to so ga kun ta pi so ga hai na ko ken ke da ka tam lo da ni ke da ni so ga ai ga kon long ga hai na to ko ra dan hari ini jangan volunteer punya ciri khas kita orang. Ane cinta orang kata itu persai itu orang. Anggota ini orang yang tentang itu, orang siang dah. Ane meeting dia makan siang itu orang. Volunteer mereka pergi itu duty kayu punya itu orang. Ane public mereka pergi orang pergi maintain itu orang makan siang itu orang. Ane kenurang dan diri di sari di meeting itu orang di tang bisa. Sawahnya. Sawai ni orang nak meeting ko ke meeting yo ngalo mak ibe kale ke nang kingo mungkin aja tu dah nang wang dah orang ngalo gak ada maka karena mai mak ibe tera nisong ada di mramo muda jago tu saya kena namai aja na ke tu ka de meeting sui do de meeting welcome meeting ning ni tu dah rang tuai dah untuk naya rang dah pergi kah dan nama kami cara itu milu dongja ini lah ane kali itu ramai maka kali itu ramai kat ramai ni orang ya nama ini soalnya kami meeting tiga sebuah sangga jenah public mewah belum nak bawa di mempu kinsang belum baik kerja skuti kerja hang cuma kan tahu lehing di maka saya maka kilang dah hang na tok ra pemai dan so nai meeting iga hang chung chung da tiga so mai so nai ki dim ram le wang da mi song ga le wang da wang mi ga sam sa mi ga nang le bai ga hang chung chung ke ja nai ki discipline ga re ga nai ki long kan to le ga re ga mai ka hin ki ne nai ki me i bang le ja nang le te chi mak ti na i ya mak da这个呢，买卡买几个兄弟，一个在水的，顶那干几个在水的，伊朗的顶那，伊朗的兄弟在水的，内陆龙来的，米大头来的，大龙来的，俺们的对呀，米的对呀了都，咱那我一个不会的对了都，咱那我家了行个，俺们那白白了都。Mara saulai nada, sakam naka kana legi rangi kamu legi dipiama, pai ni ne baca kada mai maka. Kana me pai ni le dipiama cicak, kada me pai ni pakai ini ke dikano kita dah, lui kita dah, cipo pun dah namai nak bilang raka, namai kita kira me cikam lah. Raka kata mai kita kira ke cimak bukan lah. Tega anai dia bilang lah, anai bilang anai ni cipet, cimak tak anai bilang cimak. Tinggi itu sang, tuna itu sang, kalau itu jam nana anai itu Ngah jen ma beta ma sama juga karena anak itu na iza kita kiri mesti sakli punda anak itu na anak itu punda ni kita kita misonga kita kiri na anak itu jago punya ciri punda anak itu punda namanya anak itu misonga ada tanggung nih jadi dosen aku anak kita terpelaga anak yang dia saya sudah anak itu pai mana anak itu temnya itu jaga deh punya pemahaman aku makai kata cái việc các việc đồ gì cái là này thì trên nào trong nên sự đồ mi sông cả để ăn của tôi đã mai ta đi mới lấy được mà ta miền bay thì luôn là mà ta nó mai mặc chỉ quy lòng để đồ mi sông à cái này kiếm của hàng đấy này con này lo đã là cái món này bị đã này thì cô các chị về dưới cùng đã anh nuôi đây là cái món đồ cùng đã mi lông đây cùng đã này thì lông đã là ta này thì xí để đã anh này thì bay cũng để đã mereka ngoi kata mereka milih lungi belui kumda ni pai ni dia hinggi ibu tai sudah anak ini jemna le dia nongda da anak ini belui ibu anak ini jemna ini jadi harati ngong itu ngau pengjam da anak harati ngau pengjam tu sehingga namai anak ini kecil le jadi songa hang ada amai jemna tu sabra di sana jemna nak ya sam lami dia di sana namai le jangan tu North India tu zite tu tadi India orang kata le mai anak itu songsa dalam ngau pengjam tu songa tapi jemna le ngau jadi nak rale ngau pengjam dalam ayat ini milong je tiada namai ka aki jemna tam laksya le pondok itu nama aki kena nama kecil macam kujet ada misonga orang le nama tak merami kibotin darah aneh ya hai ket ni je sangat pelari kau nak hai ket kia ni bisa kerana ni ada jemari saya ada itu lalu tu rapi orang kangjap lo jekana dah hai kau satu orang aku rani kati le dua jekana nama anak itu ngau kangjap misong ada macam tu pera kayak itu kelada nama kata orang lain negara kata lain negara tu ngau kangjap hai mengenai ngau kelada kecingan mana hai macam kamu ada ini yang itu kiamai ni apa sanda anak itu nama kesangi dede rimba ada kenora nama itu dah kesangi dede rimba ada ni tipuya ane nama kata lui ibete ya orang ada ini, orang kesuara ini, tuanai, ituนะปีที่เราเองkita anak orang itu ni dulu meeting di chip dia orang itu na uang sanda, kami milu lada uang sanda ada, nang chip dia semula bersama ni kerana juga ada, kalau uang kamera, nah anak dia uang bodoh, nang ni bukan dia tapi sana kita orang kira, dia uang pernah membandai itu. Nah, bangga, ni kau kem bang, dua orang kopi dia pun kita lalai, anu uang tu lalai, hai nak kita orang kilau pada begini ni dah kemana? Ya, volunteer bodoh pun dikum dan yang itu kita yang itu punya ada, ini deh perlu diikan nanti orang, bodoh ini tu perlu diikan nanti orang, dihikit dikum dan itu pasti orang, nama itu orang dia kali deh, bodoh dia nama cia noni, nama apa itu dia nama orang phải cứu ông cái này để gari để tiêu ông nó để soi nó để ra đó, em nào cũng soi nó để ra đó, anh ấy gari, bây giờ cái xe cái này kinh, anh ấy việc này cứ làm này anh ấy cái tàu này ra, anh mà anh bây giờ cái gari parking yang sangat bau dah, thì orang lain nhà mình người ta cái cái này đó, parking gari tiền của insan bau dah, aje tiền bau dah. Ayah nak gari tu, ini ni, hangkang wah gari tu tahun siapa? Gari tu tahun siapa? Ni mana? Gari mana? Negara tu cuma ini saja na. Minat kiki orang ke, timbang orang ke. Maka walau dah ini tahu ada. Jadi milu laksang dah, mikir Malaysia dah. Apa tu saya kena gari tu ni kita tinggal. Nggak dipaham kita, gelakat tahu, nih nggak ciam orang tu, mencari internet, sawai deh, karena yo làm cái chuyện đó không xin chào đây là cái chào đó cái xe đó đó là anh ấy chỉ cần làm một tác cái tốt tiếng khang này đó ai rồi cái này tiếng khang này cũng liên xe cầm mà đó là photo xe cái này mà ai cái quảng lấy này cái mày đó thì tình thế là hindi waya maka sara maka tinna wasa maka isida ne temi de la ke anu lung ibe te la ke arang ya to gari ke hang som chua mara kya mai da ya gari ko parking ko free ne te ke de meeting te chuda meeting hall ke banda se na ai ke ko ki do gari cholo pu bo ja ai ram do te ya sro ma che ben ni da kya mai da dan ini sa ho na maka ai ka ne soalnya gue program mana mereka pengusaha saya ada di BT ya karena dan soalnya gue program cara di jauh ada saya salahเลยhampir manaเลยlah saya tuh ya saya mana ya ini mah asal di mana ini diaนะini mah asal tuh di dalam itu namanya ning saya lo pas juga ning itu nak kemai dan di BT uang di kena ai cái lần để kia luôn thì là xong sạch đã ai là xong các bạn là đều là cái chuyện
nó cũng đó ai cũng nghe nên cái tiếng hoàng như gặp như thằng nam thế tôi vấn đề tại bắt nào cái anh to giờ thì nó rồi anh quy cái chuyện này và cái ini itu jawabannya notice to president, the vice president, secretary, the samrango chairman, the state ke balanya, anda kunde, the India kome, Krunkian kame, the advisor Chandrabane, the Nepal they, United they, there's a bà mẹ rồi mình kia nào cái gì mẹ ấy nào được vấn đề mai anh ơi phát triển công trình kia nè còn đang dùng để bùi ra bà mẹ mai thì mai mình quy hoạch sang đây anh ơi về thì ngoan làm gì cái nè bây giờ anh ơi bán cái mai thì mai mình quy ghen tàu vào nó rồi bây giờ anh về thì ngoan gì cái nè nào đây cái hay nào ra thì sao đây rồi nàng cái mai ram cái này mi to mi sau giờ mi dây băng sau giờ bây giờ ram hàng cái này ai cái golden giúp đi ngay tới giờ bây giờ ngay tới giờ hoàng ai bây giờ hay nào giờ có sang đây nàng đâu ai bây giờ nàng nuôi cái bây giờ sang tới giờ hoàng này giờ Naram Odrans Langana Namizai Kamade Naranga Namay Mitami Sauza Wangai Lusudo Mado Bantemi Gulay Luso Namay Ngaslo Pebisay Naranga Lungi Men Lungi Lada Lusudo Kasiana Lumpone Pampon Dadaga Namay Zaybando Sirama Levda Zai từ sắp thuốc từ mi ra mang lên đó có thể lấy số năm mươi bây giờ làm hàng cái này nhiều tên rồi mà phải sử dụng năm mươi luôn nhiều cái tên mà cái ấy mà mai meeting cái nó sai nó xong rồi bằng dừng bằng mai làm cái xin ra cái này lại nó làm cái hết sinh hết tuổi ta đây làm tao nên ra để gì cái này năm mươi lung hari bileuda ban hari bileuda acele sudo amai lam so nanonga namui kan yo te ma ke ai mana milai ka is a pehi go za ai mana te rang ga namu za kya mai la na ran lo di ram go za ba tonight sai ka ke brand ko Namoi kêu là Hassan gọi xe này xí ra nghe lùng mì giờ ba mai ra mình sẽ cái mày đó thế bên nào cái ai cái bang na zai ka ram da ga imezo puila siamzo puila pose ke na ma plui siam le te pale go pose ke na nui he ka le je kai la moi ha chele su do ka le te wa kam ma ko klo di blui gon ja ga pe mi ka nui sam le ka kai bang ka kai na ke kai ra ni kai la ga ma ni ke na plui sia te pa ti sai le ja na ram lo jara ni si sia go anara ma ni rakam si le sia go pose ke na nam nui de ti sa mai le ai mana hamai lam chom longa kanyo bete ma ke bang ni zen ba mai ra dai tao ni ya lo se ke na meeting bang dai zo tao ne ne pam pom dai ke meeting hol ka no ya lo za tao ne de ki pam bang ni zo ni pro sia go pose ke na no sa ra na sa bun de program ji ga ai mana sim rim de ba ma ra ne bama ra ne nam zo kya mai da komre ne go zo le ba no za ma zo discipline da se ma ki za na ne ra ka ma kom le ga hai ma ne anu zo mo ka ku da pose na komre ne go ban no ko da komre ne wa ni experiment ban di ko da ma rui be te ya si wi da si da tao ne ya ko me tao nang zu le ma ka na ka lo ne zo so ma sam pe zo wa zo so ma pi ga me sim lim de ba ma ra ma do ka sai ki ta pe te ma ka nang zu ma se ta le ta ra de so nang zu ma ma ai ma nang ni king ge pi san ne de ai pol chen tao wi tin de tao ra ba me nang zu chi sang ge dai pe ya mi pe ting wang lang tom na ma mi pe ting wang na hari ka ta pe ka te ku ne te ma ka si ko gi te ma ka ai na do pe ya hari te me te ma ka mai lang tom na nong ga ta tu ra ba na mi pe zo kya ma mi pe ting wang zo kya mai de dai anui sa pe le wang na ai na lang tom na nong ga ai ga Ami pe timang ne pe hari kala ba mai lo da lang chong na ba mai lo ta ami kete ku ne te ma ka ami miki mi bang sang da ra ba nge pe da mi pe timang ne zo hin na mai ra nge mi pe timang zo kya mai de dai sang ka dao be ha dao be mi ting na ma mi ya sa ma ko da sa ba ra le pi le ga ra dai sa le sa si ma ai ne mi a ka mai te la ina sa mo ni ba dai lu na da sa mo ni ba na lu na da sa sa ma ko ba dai lu na da ai na do kun de
Hello and good evening to all the dignitaries and delegates who have gathered here today from every corner of Northeast India and beyond. I am grateful to the Golden Jubilee Celebration Committee for this opportunity to come before you. Today I would like to talk about a research project on Rani Gaidenju that I have been involved with for the last 1 year. The project is called Decolonizing the Museum, digitally repatriating the Gaidenju collection from UK to India, or just the DMUSE project for short. It is a 4-year research project headed by Dr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍof University of Edinburgh and Professor Claire Harris of University of Oxford. I am a postdoctoral research associate in this project, and we also have 3 other research associates here who are participating in the project. They are Mr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹ηκε from Haflong in Assam, Ms. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie from 𝗡𝗏𝗏village in Peren district, Nagaland, and Ms. 𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗴𝗏cie from Imphal, Manipur. We are also happy to have Dr. 𝗡𝗶្ဍભિષ𝗴𝗹cie from JUBILEE in Nagaland as a research consultant in our project. Now, before I talk about the project itself, we might take a look at the past where the story actually begins. As we all know, Rani Gaidenju was born in 1915 and was a Zeliangaon Naga who was 16 years old when she led an uprising against the British between 1929 and 1932. In their efforts to put down this rebellion, the British launched massive military operations in the Zeliangrong areas in search of 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 and Rani Gadinu. While Jadunan was arrested and executed in 1931, Rani Gadinu was arrested in 1932 after evading capture by hiding in various places. The military operations to suppress the rebellion was conducted by various Assam Rifles units under leadership of British officials such as 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴, who was the Deputy Commissioner of Naga Hills District, J.C. Higgins, political agent of the Manipur state, S.J. Duncan, SDO of Tamilnadu, and Captain MacDonald of the 3rd Assam Rifles. During these raids, the British forces left a trail of destruction and burned Harappa temples in many places such as 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 and in Lanka. No doubt their objective was to suppress the people's uprising by creating panic and fear among the followers of Jadran and Rani Gadinu. During these operations, a number of artifacts were also taken from various locations. During these operations, the British confiscated Rani Gadinu's notebooks, clothing, ornaments, and various ritual objects that she left behind at various places. Her personal belongings were also confiscated at the time of her arrest in 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 in Nagaland in 1932. Now, these objects, collected by various British officers during the military operations, were then taken back to the UK when they returned home. These were then later donated to the 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 Museum in Oxford in the 1930s and 1950s. As of today, the museum has a large collection associated with Rani Gadinu, and this is known as the Gadinu collection. The collection has a total of 28 objects. This includes a rectangular bamboo basket containing 12 notebooks said to be written in Ranima's own hand. There is also a shoulder cloth, a waist cloth, brass armbands, and a bracelet that are said to have been her personal belongings. There are also a number of religious objects that were supposedly used as part of rituals before the Battle of Hangrum in 1932. Finally, the collection also contains a number of textiles that were taken from 2 statues that were destroyed inside the Jadunan temple in 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 in 1931. Most of the clothing items, including Ranima's personal belongings and those taken from 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴, were made using Rongmai designs and techniques. Now, most of these objects were given to the museum in 1932 by 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗏, and some of the other objects, such as the ornaments, were donated to the museum by the widow of Lieutenant Colonel Nai of the 3rd Assam Rifles. At present, these artifacts are not on public display in the museum and have been kept in secure storage. Now, the existence of this Gadinu collection in a museum based in the UK raises many important questions about the history of British colonialism in India. One cannot turn a blind eye to the acts of violence, deception, and blackmail through which many of these objects were taken to the UK. Museums around the world today are being forced to acknowledge the history of colonialism, through which many of them have developed their massive collections. There is a need to question how colonial knowledge used these objects to propagate a negative image of indigenous peoples. And in museums around the world today, indigenous voices are completely excluded from important decisions about how objects are to be displayed to the viewing public. Indeed, even after the end of colonialism, the museum still remains tied to its colonial past. Indigenous scholars around the world are calling for new kinds of research and approaches in cultural policy which will help to decolonize the museum, which can help address the problem of colonial power and ideology in institutions like museums and universities. In this project, our objective was to use digital technology as a way to decolonize the museum. In short, we're trying to use digital technology to create copies of the original objects which are kept in the 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 Museum, and then are trying to bring them back to the Zeliangrong community based here in India. In our work, we have tried to use technologies to digitize the collection. For instance, we have done high-resolution digital photography for each artifact in the collection. The Gadinu notebooks have been carefully studied and scanned using high-resolution cameras. These photographs were also printed to create a mobile exhibition as well as informative catalog that contained information about all the objects as well as images of each of the artifacts in the collection. The catalogue booklet was translated into ZHA, Lianmai and Rongmai languages for the purposes of this project. We have also made a short film that gives a glimpse of the objects themselves and how they are kept in the museum at present. We have also used 3D photogrammetry technology to create digital 3D models of some of the items, which can be viewed on laptop, tablets, as well as ordinary smartphones. These 3D models allow us to look at the object from each direction as if it was a real object in our hands, rather than just a flat image. We have tried to use social networking media such as WhatsApp to share these photos and films with the community as well. This has been an important tool in raising awareness about the collection, and many people have shared photos of the collection and the exhibition with their family members and on various community-based WhatsApp groups. The key objective of our project is to focus on various aspects of this digitizing process. First, we are interested in using the digital technology to preserve the collection. Second, we want to use it to bring these museum objects closer to the community. And third, to update and improve the information about these objects that is kept in the museum records. As we know, the objects in the collection are today almost 100 years old. And despite best efforts, the more fragile objects in the collection suffered due to the effects of weather and age. Today it is possible to use technologies such as high-quality photography, videography and 3D modeling to create digital copies of these objects that are protected from the effects of wear and tear. It becomes possible to create a copy of the present condition of the object, which will exist even if the object itself is damaged in some way. It also allows researchers to work on the collection without having to handle the original objects with their own hands each and every time. This protects the artifacts from accidental damage as well as long-term damage due to exposure to dust, oil, from hands and from harsh light. The high-quality digital copies of these objects we feel can go a long way in helping to preserve the collection for future generations. Digitizing these objects also has another important effect. It makes the object something that can be moved from one place to another. The collection, which is kept in a museum almost 8,000 kilometers away, can now be brought closer to the community. Indeed, physical distance and lack of access are an important reason why the Daigeno collection today has been kept separate from the people for whom it holds the most importance. Through our project, we are trying to understand the scope of using technology to bring the collection closer to the community. In fact, by creating digital copies of the objects, people can even begin to make these a part of their daily lives. This is something we all already see nowadays. For example, the photo of Ranima after her arrest in 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴𝗋 has been downloaded from the internet, and printouts are put up in display in many people's homes and in many other places as well. The digital copies of the objects have also been very useful when we are trying to collect authentic information about the artifacts. In fact, the work of collecting information to update and correct the museum records is important and is being undertaken as part of this project. At present, almost all the information about the artifacts has been provided only by the colonial officers. In other words, it provides a colonial perspective on what these things are and what they actually mean. In many cases, the information is correct, and in some places, the language used to describe them is objectionable. In our field work, we are trying to use the technology to collect information to update the museum records, so that with the help of the photos and the 3D models, we can actually give a person who we are talking to, we can give them a good idea of what the original object looks like, even though they might be based in a place which is very far from the museum itself. In addition to this, access to information in the digital medium makes it available to research scholars based anywhere in the world. With the proper use of this technology, it is possible a scholar sitting here in 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗹𝗋 will be able to get all the required information about the collection without having to visit the museum itself. The digitization project we have done in our project has created material that can be used as educational resources within the community as well. It provides a glimpse of the community's history and can bring together in one place a wide range of stories, memories, and incidents that have almost been forgotten today. Indeed, in some small way, having digital access to museum objects can have an impact on community identity and how it understands its cultural heritage and the past. Finally, through the use of technology in documentation of these objects, we are not limited to recording information only in the written form. For us, this was very important because a large number of cultural practices associated with Ranima and with Harappa cultural practices are not actually in written form but use things like group singing. For example, group singing is one of the important ways of learning and sharing Ranima's teachings. The songs themselves transmit the content of her teachings, but it is the act of collective singing that strengthens the sense of community and belonging. The digital technology allows us a wide range of media through which we can record such practices in as authentic a way as possible. This helps to reduce chances of incorrect translation and misrepresentation of these practices. Ultimately, we are hopeful that all the material collected will help us to integrate an indigenous perspective in how the collection is catalogued and displayed in the museum. Perhaps the most important phase of the project was undertaken in the last 6 months when we conducted extensive workshops and fieldwork in the Dimmasaw area in Assam and in 𝗡𝗶膚𝗴𝗴 district in Nagaland. We have spent approximately 2 months in each of these places conducting research. Our project was designed first around doing a series of group discussion-based workshops where we interacted with community members and stakeholders. After that, we proceeded to do extensive fieldwork and individual villages in various villages in the ZHA areas of Assam and Nagaland. In Assam, our community workshops in 𝗡𝗶្ឍcontinued for about 2 weeks. And during this period, we interacted with many of the respected elders of the community who generously shared with us their knowledge about Harappa religion and ZHA culture. And they also brought up their memories of personal meetings with Ranima herself. Among many others, we are very thankful to Dr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, Mr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, Mr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie for sharing their time with us. After the workshops in 𝗡𝗶្ឍ, we proceeded to the semi areas including Laisong, 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, 𝗡𝗵𝒻𝒄𝒄, 𝗡𝗌 𝗡𝗏𝒻 and 𝗓𝗏. Here we had a chance to meet Mr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, son of Masang Riame in 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, and Miss 𝗡𝗶𝒴𝗡𝗴𝗏 of Laisong, who was Ranima's personal assistant. In Nagaland, we conducted workshops for a 2-week period in Tening and Jalukhe town in 𝗡𝗏 district. Here we are thankful to the community organizations like ZHA Harappa Association Northeast India and Nagaland, ZHA Harappa Youth Organization Nagaland, 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗏, 𝗡𝗏𝒃 Mipui Organization, 𝗡𝗏 Harappa 𝗡𝗏, 𝗡𝗏 Students Association, and ZHA Youth Association for participating in our community workshops. We also would like to extend our thanks to Mr. 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗹cie, Mr. 𝗶𝗵𝗔 Hau, Mr. 𝗡𝗶𝗴𝗛𝗃, and Ms. 𝗡𝗶𝗴𝗛 and Ms. 𝗓𝗏𝒃, all of whom kindly agreed to participate in our discussions. After completing the workshops in Nagaland, we visited the historical villages such as 𝗡𝗶្ឍ𝗴𝗏, where we found the Rani caves, and 𝗡𝗶្ឍ, where she was finally arrested in 1932. We also visited Anjau village to meet an expert basket weaver who told us in great detail about the original basket that was there in Ranima's in the Kaigindu collection, in which the notebooks were kept and stored. As part of the project, we also asked weavers of the community to reproduce the textiles that are part of the collection. For this, we conducted a detailed workshop with them where they looked at all the textiles, and this was followed by a detailed discussion about each of the fabrics. We also shared images of the textiles with them on WhatsApp so that they can view the images on their own mobile phones. These items, which have been made by the weavers, will finally be kept as part of the collection in the 𝗡𝗶ৃ𝗴 Museum as samples of present-day weaving techniques among ZHA people. In the coming months, we also plan to conduct similar workshops and fieldwork in Manipur as well, focusing on the Imphal Valley and the districts of 𝗡𝗏 and 𝗡𝗏nci𝗺. By the end of this 4-year project, we hope to accomplish some concrete goals. First, we will hold the first public exhibition of the 𝗏 collection at the 𝗡𝗶ৃ𝗴 Museum in Oxford. As part of the exhibition, we will include the original objects, the digitized versions, and also the material that has been collected during the fieldwork. By doing this, we hope to give the viewing public an understanding of Rani Gaidelu as a political, social, and spiritual leader of the ZHA people. The second goal of the project is to create a website that will provide complete information about each of the items in the Gaidelu collection. The aim is to use all the digitized audiovisual resources created in the project to give viewers an interactive experience of exploring the collection. Through this experience, viewers will become familiar not just with the life and teachings of Ranima herself, but aspects of ZHA history and culture as well. Finally, we'll take the project findings to various global platforms through conferences and seminars where we'll contribute to international debates on indigenous traditional knowledge and protection of indigenous intellectual property rights. We hope that through the work we are doing in this project, we're able to contribute in some small way towards spreading the teachings of Ranima to the whole world. By using innovative new digital technologies, we are hopeful that we can create a new interest about her and about her teachings, especially among the younger generation. And finally, we look forward to seeing community apex bodies, youth and cultural organizations take up digitization initiatives of their own to document and popularize ZHA culture and history. And on that note, I'd like to end my speech. And thank you very much once again for this opportunity to speak about this project that we're working on and to share our findings with you in some detail. Thank you so much.
Ungoma